kind of what we want to tackle here today are some practical ways that we can deal with the perception of a lack of control or that stress that's in our lives, so that it doesn't have to be long-term stress.
Yeah. I love that definition because it is sometimes a perception, perception's reality, right? To us when we see it. And I like the lack of control part because as teachers, often our personalities are, we're planners, we need to be on top of it. We want to do it right. So that when things aren't exactly, how we are hoping they would be, it can definitely add to that. So when people are stressed, they turn to many different things. Of course, coffee probably jumped into some people's minds. There's chocolate, energy drinks, ice cream, taking a walk, playing an instrument, exercising, although I'm not really sure about that one. That seems to add to my stress. We can laugh about some of those coping mechanisms that people are using to boost morale or boost energy, but they're all temporary. We as Christian educators, we have a power source, as you call it, a stress reliever that we can tap into to help. But honestly, one we don't tap into like we should. Talk with us more about that source.
Yep, you're absolutely right. The Bible kind of refers to us as earthen vessels, right? Imagine for a moment that you and I were in the studio together, and I was showing you a beautiful piece of pottery. Maybe it was a beautiful picture that my husband and I brought back from our trip to Portugal this summer. And I was just showing it to you. We were admiring the craftsmanship. And then as I pass it off to you, something happens and I lose my grip, and that beautiful porcelain pitcher heads down to the floor. And we would both anticipate that as it hits the floor, it would crash into a million different pieces, right? What if it doesn't, though? What if when that pitcher hits the floor, it just kind of bounces a little bit? Well, we would be
Tremendous
amazed.
relief.
We will be relieved.
Yeah, and amazed.
And I might say, wow, I wonder what that pottery is made out of. And you might say, I wonder who the potter is, who made that. And I think that we see that beautiful picture of resilient fragility in scriptures. In fact, 2 Corinthians 4:7-10, I think, is the best example of this resilient fragility that you and I have as Christian educators that we can tap into. I'm going to read it for us. It says in verse 7, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our body. That's us, right? We are troubled
For sure.
on every side. We are persecuted. We are cast down. But we know that we have strength through our potter, through our creator who has designed us for this mission of being a teacher that he's called us to. And he's prepared us, and he is the power source and the stress reliever that we can tap into. And he allows us and enables us with many practical ways to kind of relieve that stress that comes into our lives.
Enjoyed this short clip? That was just a sneak peek into a full episode on the Teacher Edition podcast. We are passionate about supporting Christian educators like you. Looking for more inspiration and practical strategies you could use today? Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.
Brought to you by BJU Press.